Welcome to Shocking History Photos, where the most powerful images are the ones they tried to erase. Some photos are more than just pictures, they're proof. Proof of moments so raw, so real, they were banned from public view. From censored wars and government cover-ups to celebrity breakdowns and forgotten tragedies, these rare images were hidden for being too controversial. But not anymore. In this video, we're revealing 50 shocking photos the world tried to erase. Peter's back tells a story more brutal than words ever could, a haunting image of the scars left by slavery taken just days after he escaped a Louisiana plantation in 1863. Dorothy Counts walks through a sea of hatred in 1957, the first black student at an all-white school, mocked and taunted simply for daring to get an education. This haunting photo captures starving Russian families during the 1921 famine, a deadly crisis that claimed millions, with desperate eyes staring into a world that had all but forgotten them. In 1904, over 1,300 indigenous Filipinos were shipped to the US and put on public display like animals, a dark chapter where human zoos were real and racism was dressed up as entertainment. This chilling 1890 photo shows a woman strapped in a crucifixion pose, a so-called treatment for mental illness in 19th century Germany, where suffering was mistaken for healing. In 1948, George McLaurin made history as the first black student at the University of Oklahoma, yet was still forced to sit alone, a silent but strong image of segregation in higher education. The 1930 Miss Lovely Eyes pageant featured women hiding behind eerie masks, because back then, beauty was judged by the eyes alone, in a contest both strange and unforgettable. These wedding rings are silent witnesses to unimaginable loss. Thousands stolen by Nazis from Holocaust victims, stripped of their love and lives for the sake of gold. Blanche Monnier spent 26 years locked away in a tiny, dark room by her own family, a painful story of cruelty hidden behind closed doors in France. Magdalene asylums, or laundries, were grim prisons where women deemed unfit were forced into hard labor and silence, hidden horrors disguised as reform. This 1945 photo shows prisoners of the Ebensee concentration camp, survivors of unimaginable brutality, their gaunt faces a haunting reminder of the horrors endured. Few escaped alive, but their stories refuse to be forgotten. A weary Korean girl carries her brother on her back, trudging past a stalled tank in 1951, an image of resilience amid the chaos of war. In their tired faces, the heavy toll of conflict is impossible to ignore. After a long, grueling day underground, Belgian coal miners squeeze into a cramped elevator, exhausted but bound by the harsh realities of early 1900s labor. This photo captures the raw struggle of those who powered an industrial age at great personal cost. An Indian Army ambulance driver grips his injured leg in unbearable pain, wounded in the Korean War of 1951. This raw moment reveals the harsh reality and human cost behind every battlefield hero. In 1918, France, nurses take shelter in bomb trenches just steps from hospital wards, risking everything to care for the wounded. Their courage shines through the chaos of World War I's darkest days. This chilling photo shows an inmate at the Rab concentration camp, a prisoner caught in the grip of unimaginable cruelty. Red rebels face final moments in Varkaus during Finland's 1918 insurrection, a moment of civil conflict where loyalty meant life or death. This unshakable image captures the fierce divisions that tore a nation apart. During the fierce Dardanelles campaign of 1915, an Australian soldier carries his wounded comrade to safety, embodying the relentless spirit of Anzac troops. This photo captures brotherhood and bravery in the face of relentless battle. In 1951, during the Korean War, captured Chinese soldiers are seen begging for mercy, terrified of what might happen next. This raw moment shows the deep fear and desperation that war brings to those caught in it. In September 1940, children from an eastern London suburb sit among the ruins of their bombed-out homes, victims of relentless German air raids. Their innocent faces hide a heartbreaking loss no child should ever endure. Jack Johnson, the first black world heavyweight champion, shows his raw strength doing winter chores in this rare photo. More than a boxer, he was a powerful symbol of pride and resilience during a time of deep racial prejudice. In the 60s, you could order a live squirrel monkey right through the mail for just $18.95, a bizarre reminder of a time when owning exotic pets was shockingly easy. Meet Jack the baboon, a South African railway signalman from the 1800s who never once slipped up in nearly 10 years on the job. Proof that sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction. The 19th century brought many strange inventions, but the mass shaving machine takes the cake. Designed to shave multiple men at once, it promised efficiency but looked more like a bizarre device. This invention shows how sometimes innovation tries to solve problems no one really had. In 1908, Boston's streets buzzed as huge crowds gathered to witness Harry Houdini's daring escape, jumping off a bridge while bound in chains. This stunt wasn't just about thrills, it was Houdini's way of proving that human willpower and skill could conquer even the most impossible traps. Venus the Bulldog wasn't just a pet, she was the official mascot of HMS Van Sittart, a World War II Royal Navy destroyer. Mascots like Venus boosted crew morale during some of the darkest, most intense moments at sea. In a world torn by war, a loyal dog was a reminder of home, hope, and the simple comforts worth fighting for. Clowns have been creepy for over a century, and this 1928 photo of Lon Chaney as a terrifying clown in Laugh Clown, Laugh proves it. His haunting look helped shape the scary clown image that still haunts Halloween costumes today. This unforgettable image shows a sailor's lifeless body washed ashore after a Japanese air attack during World War II. It's a stark reminder of the harrowing cost of war, where countless lives were lost in sudden, violent moments. In July 1918, Russia's royal family met a harsh end, murdered by the Bolsheviks after months of imprisonment, a violent close to 3 centuries of imperial rule. This 1914 photo captures Tsar Nicholas II before his downfall, during a time when his choices, like entering World War I, set the stage for revolution. In 1986, a routine safety test at Chernobyl went catastrophically wrong, triggering a nuclear explosion that released deadly radiation still lingering decades later. This eerie photo of a doll's head resting on an old armchair in an abandoned kindergarten captures the haunting silence left behind by the disaster. On April 9, 1942, about 75,000 US and Philippine troops were forced into the severe 65-mile Bataan Death March, a grueling ordeal of starvation, disease, and abuse. This horrific event left thousands dead and became a dark symbol of wartime cruelty and resilience. The march stands as a painful reminder of the human cost of war and the strength it takes to survive. This frame reveals a US Marine gently cradling a tiny, barely alive infant rescued from a cave where native islanders hid from the fierce battles between US and Japanese forces. It's a stark reminder of how innocent lives are caught in the crossfire of war. In 1945, during the fierce battle for Okinawa, a blindfolded and bandaged American soldier lies on a stretcher, hands clasped in silent prayer. This captured memory shows the vulnerability and hope of soldiers facing unimaginable pain and uncertainty. This 1981 photo captures a legendary lineup of British comedy icons: young Hugh Laurie, Rowan Atkinson, Stephen Fry, Emma Thompson, and more, celebrating their win at the very first Perrier Comedy Awards. It's incredible to see these future stars at the start of their careers, long before they became household names. This man, badly burned across his entire body, was cared for on Ninoshima Island after being just a kilometer from the atomic blast in 1945. The extreme heat caused severe skin damage and internal harm, which was deadly for many who were that close. His pain reveals the deep human cost of one of the most powerful weapons ever used. Here's Gillian Anderson goofing around on the set of The X-Files with a banana stuck in her nose. This funny behind-the-scenes moment shows even serious actors know how to have fun. It's a light-hearted break from the show's usual eerie vibes. Albert Einstein stands beside members of a Native American tribe at the Grand Canyon in 1922, wearing a traditional headdress. It's an unexpected moment where science and indigenous culture briefly intersect. Einstein, known for his genius, seems curious and respectful, observing traditions far removed from his world of equations. In 1972, photographer Nick Ut captured an unforgettable moment: 9-year-old Kim Phuc running from a napalm attack in Vietnam, her skin badly burned and her face showing deep pain. The photo became one of the most harrowing images of the Vietnam War, showing the painful impact of chemical weapons. Kim, running without clothes beside other frightened children, became a symbol of how war harms the innocent. Photojournalists like Spider Martin, James Carolus, and Flip Schulke risked their lives to document the civil rights movement. Their images captured the brutality faced by peaceful protesters and brought the reality of racial injustice into American living rooms. Despite facing threats, violence, and efforts to suppress their work, these photographers stood their ground. This is the photo that stunned the world: a South Vietnamese general shooting a Viet Cong prisoner on a street in Saigon. It quickly became a strong symbol of war's harsh reality, appearing in newspapers everywhere and sparking public anger. But the photo only showed a single moment, not the whole story. The truth behind it is much more complex than it first appears. Evelyn McHale's death became one of the most haunting images ever captured. Just 4 minutes after she leapt from the 86th floor of the Empire State Building, her body landed on a limousine roof, eerily peaceful, as if asleep. After the war, some images said more than any report ever could. One striking photo shows an Iraqi soldier in his final moments, a hand reaching through broken glass, as if still holding on to life. His body, burned and blended with the remains of a truck, is nearly lost in the wreckage. In April 2004, the world was shaken by photos from inside Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison. These pictures revealed how some US military personnel treated prisoners in deeply troubling ways. They weren't rumors, they were clear, unforgettable images showing blindfolded men, humiliating positions, and scenes of unimaginable cruelty. This heartbreaking photo captures 2 victims trapped in the rubble after a deadly garment factory collapse in Savar, Bangladesh. A Congolese man mourns as he gazes at the severed hand and foot of his young daughter, a tragic symbol of the intense violence in the region. Soldiers opened fire on unarmed democracy protesters, an event that ended in devastating loss. The true death toll remains uncertain, but is believed to be in the hundreds or thousands. This raw image captures the deep racial tensions that have long shaped America's history. It symbolizes the struggle for equality amid systemic injustice and violence. Willie Jackson tragically died from heat stroke during an intense heat wave in 2012, which saw 40 days over 90 degrees Fahrenheit. This chilling image captures a soldier showing blatant disrespect by kicking a deceased individual, revealing the rough and inhumane side of warfare. This moment shows a heartbreaking contrast. While 2 people and a police officer try to save a man on fire, many others just stand there, taking pictures instead of helping. These images reveal truths we can't ignore, moments history tried to erase, but that still demand to be seen. If this moved you, give it a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more untold stories the world tried to forget.